Selling is the same. The buyer uses rational criteria to sort out the possible sellers. Then buyer meets seller, and everything changes. In step 2, the selection process, the buyer switches from using a largely linear, rational process to one that's much more complex. In the job hunting analogy, once you get the interview, you should leave your resume at home, because what the employer wants to see in a job interview is how you handle yourself in real time. Are you interested in the employer? In the job? How do you respond to questions? Can you react on the spot? These are questions that can only be answered in an interview. Similarly, in the seller selection process, the interaction becomes personal. Suddenly, the client is no longer interested in hearing dry statistical information, even if he or she says otherwise. The client is much more interested in things like whether you seem to understand his or her problem, whether you can demonstrate the value of your expertise rather than just talk about it, and whether you seem to appreciate the client's specific personal situation. Here a paradox arises. You sell yourself best not by talking about yourself, but by talking about the client. Years ago, I heard about a job within my firm that would be just right for me. I really wanted the job, but at least 2 other applicants were more qualified than I was. They got in to see the president, to whom the job would report. In both cases, the president decided after a week or so not to hire them. Each time, I let it be known again that I was interested. Finally, I got my interview with the president. I blurted out all the things I would do with the job, and to my surprise, after 5 minutes, he told me I had the job. "Why so fast?" I asked. "Not that I'm complaining." "Because," he said, "the others all wanted to sell me on their credentials and to talk about compensation and promotion paths. You were the only one who talked about what you'd actually do." I didn't know it at the time, but I had stumbled upon the old idea of selling by giving away samples. The best way to sell ice cream or perfume is to give samples. In intangible services businesses, it's called selling by doing, not selling by telling. People come to trust you by seeing you in action, by giving them samples of your work. This is what wins in selection. Samples selling is focused on the customer. It demonstrates the benefits of your expertise on the customer's terms, not the seller's terms. The favorite subject of most of us is ourselves. Samples selling allows the buyer to experience the benefits personally, rather than just hear about the seller's advantages. It's personal, and it's much more persuasive than purely rational discussion of features, needs, or even benefits. Exceptions to the 2-step buying process rule. As buyers, when we have a strong existing relationship with a provider and we see the need for a new job, we almost unconsciously think first, "Can my existing provider handle this matter?" If so, we cut short the 2-step process and give the business to the existing firm. For most clients, the inclination is, "Don't fix what ain't broke." This is one exception to the 2-step buying process rule, an important one since it includes trust-based relationships. Other exceptions to the rule include clients for whom corporate policy dictates multiple vendor relationships, customers who are extremely averse to relying on personal feel in the selection process and who therefore treat selection like screening, clients for whom pre-existing external relationships exist. But these exceptions are relatively uncommon. In general, sellers are well advised in Phase 1 to market the firm in ways that help clients screen, and in Phase 2 to sell the individual in ways that help customers make selections. Why trust usually isn't developed. It's my experience that the general public throughout the industrialized world tends to have a negative perception of sales. Many of us salespeople share that negative view of sales. We want to be trusted, but we are not the most trusting of people. Some of